this than probably even I do. This is a really old, and this one here, power supply that came out of a Haas machine.
Yep.
This style is called, what's the style?
AT.
It's an old...
It's an AT computer power supply.
Now I bought an AT power supply off of Amazon, and look what showed up.
Yeah.
This is an ATX.
I don't know the difference with X.
So
It's got
this
different cables.
It's got different cables, so you have to be careful if you're going to buy.
It has these,
So you can't. The tricky part about replacing a Haas power supply is you can't just really do it with one off the shelf.
No, and even if you do, this style is not reliable for what that machine needs.
So when they switched from DC servos to machines with AC servos, they had to have this additional power supply. Now you said this is sometimes called the probe power supply.
You can see it right here, look. Probe power supply.
But did this power...
And then this says high voltage servo amp power supply. So it can be either one. This is, actually no, it's not the case. See that right here?
Yeah.
Another one bolts right here.
Oh.
So if you had the original Renishaw probes, had to have a separate power supply to run, because they were bolted right here on the bottom.
24 volts.
Yeah.
So this is my understanding, but this is all to save cost.
Well, that's what Haas is all about.
I mean, you've got this power supply which runs the servos, this cheap computer power supply which ran the computers, and then another one
to run the probe. And they, before this one, there's a separate one that's sat down and over for this.
So this powers the servo amplifiers.
That's all.
That's all.
The logic for it's only the logic for the servo amplifiers.
We now stock and sell a replacement power supply.
Yeah, that's the new style that does
This is
both.
the new style. So this one plug would power your power distribution board, would power your processor stack, which is going to be your processor, your MOCON, your video.
Yep. And
the servo amplifiers.
And when you get this, I mean, when we sell it,
yes,
it comes like this.
with all the cables. Because
But Haas sold it with a separate cable here that didn't have this yellow stuff, and you could either use the yellow one.
well, we sell that same thing. So we had all these built because. So if you had a machine that's newer, all you need is this.
Yeah, right.
This plugs in here.
There, and it does away with this yellow.
Yeah. But what this is showing, this power supply bought on Amazon, or this one for a standard computer, doesn't include the plus and minus 12,
Right.
which is needed, and it doesn't have the right plugs.
The problem is if you change, you can change just this AT power supply that's inside here like that.
Yeah.
But if this is bad, then you have to buy that because they don't sell this anymore.
Yeah. Or you could find this online, but
Yeah, maybe you could.
the problem is
You could find a plus and minus 12 volt, which it wouldn't fit, and it'd be a different
it'd be a
configuration.
different thing. And the combination of these two are both at the age where they're going to fail.
Yeah, this is not every. This was really cheap for just running PCs, so it's not a high reliable. That's why they went to that, because they had so much trouble with these.
Tell me about, because I remember growing up, you were always on the phone, telling people, change the level power supply. LVPS, that's what this was
Yeah,
nicknamed.
the low volt power supply would be that. Well, could be this too.
What problems, I have learned if I walk into a shop and it has a power supply that looks like this in the machine, and they have a problem or an intermittent problem, I tell them to change the power supply.
Yeah, I would too.
It's
So there's two different things. This one, if it's this piece of the power supply,
yeah,
it's going to have servo errors. And
servo
it's gonna-
amplifier alarms.
amplifier alarms. And sometimes, most of the time it'll be X, or it'll be Y, or it'll be Z,
or all three.
or all three, and it's most likely this plus and minus
Just
12
this
volts.
guy.
Right. And that may be why Haas went to an amplifier that had its own power supply, because you don't need that anymore. But if you have intermittent control problems, it seems like could be one of the processor stack boards or something, then yeah, it's cheap. I mean, you could buy these really cheap.
You can buy
And
those.
how much is that? I don't even know.
$850, $900, which is
Okay.
cheaper. That's than a day of service from any service tech.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you suspect you have one of these and you think this is a problem,
Especially if it's this gray one.
yeah, if it's this style where it's an old computer power supply,
Yeah.
I'm just suspect. Because I don't want to spend all day there waiting for the problem to happen, or, you know, I'll troubleshoot the problem, but I think it's this. I think this is the problem.
Well, that's the cheapest way. It's cheaper than us.
Yeah. If you have a power supply that looks like this, my first go-to is you need to replace the power supply. If it doesn't fix the problem, then you saved yourself a future headache when it would cause a problem.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it's the most likely thing, and it's the least expensive. Yeah, we could spend another day there. You could buy 2 of them. You know?
Yes. Yes.
I don't. There's not a lot of these as much as there is that one.
There's an older style of this one too.
Yeah, but this one that's mounted on this cover, a lot of the ones that go to the servo amp are a separate little one that sits.
That sat further down. I've seen it. It looks just like this, but it's sat.
Well, it's usually covered though. It's usually, well, some of them were solid. They were all completely encased.
I'll go look. I might have one right here.
The encased one?
We just have. Oh, this is.
There's one that was enclosed, but you could make adjustments on it.
This was in between this one and this one, and it has a totally different style plug.
Yeah.
It normally had a sheet metal heat sink around it. The thing.
Now there was one about this size
that had a little
totally,
metal cover.
it was gold colored like this, and on the end it had a couple of pots that you could adjust the plus and minus.
What I've seen is you go to the back of the machine, turn the machine on, and all the amplifiers light up and turn off, light up and turn off, light up and turn off. And what I think that is, it's this power supply builds up 12 volts, sees a short or something bad,
Well, it just
turns off.
current and then
Yes.
it shuts off.
So it's flashing on and off, on and off, and it's a good indicator that there's something. You unplug the amplifiers and it'll stay lit, but then the amplifiers don't have power.
Well, the other thing is that a lot of times people will get this power supply
Oh yes,
and they use this cable.
and they don't replace.
They don't replace this power supply,
Which is feeding the amplifiers because it's
and they
not.
still have the same problem.
I've seen that.
They still have the same problem.
I remember the first time I was sent out to go repair one of these. I had a box of wires.
Well, it's
and
not
this.
easy.
No, and you have this with all these random wires, and then you have this.
Oh, it gets worse.
The plug numbers don't match the
No,
power
they're
distribution cards.
They're P something, like P18.
J3,
No, they're P number.
P1. Here, I'll go grab a power distribution card.
It's P15 if it's a motor. Yeah.
Oh,
They don't match.
we're bringing this up.
Every tech we've ever sent out to put that one in the very first time can't get it figured out.
So here's the card that this plugs into. This is called the power distribution card. So P32.
And 29, actually I think it's 29, 20, I think it's these. And instead they're like 19, 18.
Let me go look and see. I think I've got
Do we have an old cable?
I've got an old power distribution card right here, yeah. So look at this one.
The numbers are totally different. They changed the whole
Yeah,
thing.
look right here. P29 and P28.
Right. And the new one,
P32.
and 31, and this one you have to look and see what the voltage is right here on the card.
So if we look, this one says 5, 5, 5, and ground. Ground, ground, negative 12, plus 12, and 5. What happens is the power from the low volt power supply plugs into here, and then it leaves here going to the right. Now you can plug these in wrong. That's what's crazy, because look, on this plug, you've got 5 and ground, ground. The white is negative 12, the yellow is plus 12,
Right.
and this one. So you've got to plug these
And what's
in.
the number? What's the number on here? It doesn't match, I'll bet you.
P28 and P29. Oh, it matches those. But if you were to put it in a newer one,
Well, you don't have 28 and 20. Well, you have 28 and 29 are above it. But there's other boards that they don't match at all.
well, let's take a look at this one. Oh, this one matches P28. But the point is, we're trying to warn people. You can plug this in backwards. You've got to read the silk screen where it's written on here. And let's look. Maybe it's these that are written wrong. Look at that one. Yeah, this one says, you're right, this one says P9, and this one says P5 or P8.
Yeah, and you don't have a. And you have
So you have to look at this.
P28 and P29.
You don't have at all a P8 or a P9. So you would have to know, okay, This says black, that says ground. I'm going to plug this in here and plug that one in there. If you mix those up, you're going to be putting negative 12 and 12 on the 5 and ground. You might damage something, or this just might not turn on at all. The other thing,
But the numbers just don't match.
this happened to me here in our office, and then the tech called me. He stole a power supply from a simulator.
Which
And
they're not the same.
They're not the same. And the plug that powers this, the plugs are mismatched. So instead of ground and line voltage, it's line voltage and ground. And he plugged it in, plugged it into a machine, and shorted out the I/O board. So if you look here, this is J1. This is the power that feeds the low volt power supply. And if you
That's
go
120 volts. That's why.
120 volts. And if you steal a power supply out of a simulator and you plug this in to here,
This is the wrong plug.
it's what? Yeah, no, this is the right one.
Those
No,
pins.
it'll show.
No, not the right one.
Well, it's supposed to be the right one.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you're right. It broke the tab.
You can turn it around and do it the other way, and it probably won't break the tab.
But then you'll have line voltage on the ground. No, if it fit.
No, it shouldn't have to go. That tab is not supposed to be under that piece. The tab's
I think
supposed to be on the
it's because
outside.
that's a different style plug. Look at this one. See, that's a 2-wire plug.
Yeah, and the pins.
I'm looking here. This kit works for this. I know that.
Oh, for that power supply.
Yeah.
You don't have another one of those power supplies where the power goes in.
Yeah, that plugs in fine. I know because it's on the ground. It says right here. Look, line, neutral, and ground. And
Well, the connector's not right because that pin is supposed to be out, so you can't turn it the wrong way.
yeah, if you plug this in this way, you'd be putting the line voltage to the ground.
Which is what you would try to do if you had that plug, because that piece right there that you broke off is trying to go in there, and it shouldn't.
My experience, having done this in our office, and then I talked to a tech in the field, and he did the exact same thing. Here, let's see. This one, I don't know if it has. Where's the power feed? This
Well,
one.
no, these are different. It comes off of here, I believe. I think it comes in here. Yeah,
Yeah.
look, because it's this cable.
It plugs into a spot
Yeah.
that's the same as that.
Yeah.
This right here. See, this says 115 AC, and
So it's
this
these
is that
boards
style.
that you have to deal with.
What I'm trying to warn people about in all of this is there's lots of wires, there's lots of voltages, and it's the directions don't work. Technicians have a hard time doing this.
Every technician that puts one of these in the very first time, the P9 and P8, it's P28 and 29.
There's one other thing that I think most people don't recognize. Look at this. Have you ever run into this? This plug is for the MOCON.
Yeah.
This plug is for the processor. And then there's one other caveat. If you're plugging this
And
into
this is for the
video, notice this one is missing the white, and the white is the negative 12. If you plug this one into the processor and this one into the MOCON board,
The MOCON doesn't work because it needs to
that's
go
right,
from
you'll
plus
get a
and
MOCON
minus.
watchdog alarm, but you won't damage the processor. Remember the Bowman job. We went out there and changed his power supply.
That's what was wrong?
That's what was wrong. Because he had a really old processor, really old, threw hole chips on everything. That machine needed the negative 12 to make the keyboard chip work. And we could not figure it out. We could not figure it out. We would bring the boards
Didn't we
back to our
figure it out
office.
here?
We finally figured it out that if you're on a really old machine with a really old processor and the keyboard doesn't work after changing the power supply, you need to jump this voltage over to here. The MOCON board needs the negative 12
Why can't you just move that one over?
because the MOCON board needs it too.
Oh, they both need
They
it. That's
both
why
need
this
it.
is jumper.
That's why. Now, in the pack, if your power distribution card has a 5, a negative 12, you could plug this into here and then feed the MOCON board from it.
Well, that's what this
the-
cable's
That's
for.
what this cable's for. But not everybody knows that. You're in there trying to replace it with one of these,
Yeah.
and it's dark. You're quickly working, and you're trying to just figure it out. I'm gonna have to figure out if we need to make a different plug for that.
I think it's a bigger plug. I mean, usually This is not the right one, but
Yeah.
usually those keep you from doing this.
So that it's larger.
Yeah.
But I've always, when I've ran into this, so see, this would feed it with power, that would feed it with power, or this one would feed it, because these are the three that
Yeah,
are,
well, that one doesn't have the end pieces, so you could get this connector can be done like this.
I didn't see that. Look, that one has that end piece. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I think I'm regularly working too fast and I cause my own problems.
Well, did you make all these cables?
No, we had a supplier build them all. So look, let's
But
see.
but then when you buy this power supply,
You're right. That one works. That one works.
And that's the right way.
That's the right way.
that doesn't
Line.
have the end on the little.
It doesn't have the tab in, so you would need.
The
I
tab
think-
keeps you from moving it left to right. See, if you had a small one here, like
Yeah.
this,
Okay.
look, you can't do this,
You can't get it off one.
but you can get it right there.
So this is the right. If you were trying to feed 110 volts to this, which comes from the transformer in the machine that makes 110, you would need to
Yeah.
run either that cable or that cable, and you would plug this into your power distribution card or this.
Or use the other cable and chop the corner.
So this, let's see here, on this, there's probably a 110, because this is a newer style. Let's see, yeah,
It's right
low
here.
volt power supply.